everybody. Welcome to Hallmarkies podcast and Merry Christmas. And we are here to get our dysfunctional families on in 6 times such. We're talking about Holidazed and episodes 1 and 2. We're talking about the pilot and the second episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am film critic Grace Wagner, and Anne is here.
Hi, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Merry
We are well
Christmas.
into Hallmark season now, so
I know. Can you believe it?
getting exciting. Yeah,
It's
I know.
wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I was just thinking that this last weekend was our 5th weekend.
Wow.
Wild.
Yeah, that is wild. And that means Thanksgiving is very soon.
Yes.
So.
And I might just die.
Thanksgiving week is always a lot.
But I'm excited, and we have this first time Christmas series from Hallmark. It's pretty fun.
It is. I really didn't know what to expect. So, because it's the first series like they've ever done like this. So,
yeah. How do you feel about Hallmark Plus in general? What do you think?
Right now, I think it's good. My thing has always been, okay, well, you're doing all this stuff now, but 2025, we'll see what new stuff you're putting on. Because I'm like, well, I'm not going to stay subscribed if, depending how quickly it goes to Hallmark regular channel. And, they're not going to keep it at this capacity, I don't think, adding, 7 new things and all this stuff. So I'm just curious to see in 2025 how much they're rolling out onto Hallmark Plus specifically. So
it is really strange. I mean, because then they just added all these movies to Netflix, and then they have Peacock, and it's like, it's just interesting. Like, what motivation do people have? Like, this stuff has to be so good that's unique to Hallmark. This stuff has to be so good that's unique to Hallmark Plus. And I don't know. It's just interesting.
And I mean, yeah, they have said like basically, except for maybe they said possibly, but they already broke that, so never mind. They said maybe the reality stuff would stay exclusive, but they've already put at least 2 episodes to tease people of the Finding Father Christmas on regular Hallmark channel. But yeah, it depends how long they make people wait. But they have said everything will go to the app. So if you're patient, it's like, well, you could just not subscribe, depending how long you have to wait. So
are you enjoying? Are you watching that Finding?
I haven't watched it yet. I really do want to watch it. Is it fun?
It is fun. Yeah, it is fun.
I'm just curious, like, what kind of competitions they're gonna have for, to find the leading guy. That was what was most intrigued me. So.
Well, there was one. It was just, I felt bad for the guy because they did this little like acting challenge with the skating, and Brooke Dorsey's there and everything like that. And they had all of these things that happen, like a girl falls on her skates, and then somebody topples off the skates from the table, things like that. And I felt bad for this guy because there was one who didn't help the girl on the skates, because I like reasonably so. He's like, well, this is part of the scene, right? This isn't in the notes. This isn't in the but they were acting like this was like a point of character. Like, he's a bad person because he did not help this woman.
Oh no!
And they were like totally upset.
Oh my gosh!
I felt bad for him, because how would he possibly think that was like a character test? When it's playing a role, it's like,
that's kind of that's kind of tricky. That's
I felt bad for him, but for the most part, the challenges have been fun, and things like unwrapping, unwiring Christmas lights and stuff like that. Making ugly Christmas sweaters and stuff. But anyway, so we have this Holidazed show. We've got the 2 episodes up, and I guess overall, what is your overall feeling about this show? These 2 episodes.
I really like it, and I liked it more when I got less stressed out because I watched the first episode and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to follow like all of this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, it's anthology. So the first episode is the introduction to everyone, and then each episode will only be one family. And I was like, okay, I can deal with that. Like that, I guess the ending episode will be everyone again. but I was like, I can, deal with following it now. Um,
Yeah.
but I thought I like how like everyone has some, it represents many kind of different families, not only in diversity like physically, but also in like, like a single mom and her daughter, a divorced, parents, doing Christmas together with their kids and their grandchild, you know, along with all of the, diversity that we're seeing. And so I
Yeah.
do like that everyone's different and like everyone is represented in different types of family styles and cultures. So I thought that was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I enjoy it too. They certainly spent money on this cast. They
Yeah,
went all out.
I
I
did.
mean, this is a really, really, really good cast.
Yeah.
Like, you all know that this kind of like dysfunctional family comedy isn't like my favorite brand of Christmas movie, just
Hmm.
my personal taste. But like, it's so well executed that it really is quite entertaining, I think.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And especially, yeah, once we got to the second episode and I'm like, okay, now we're just with these people, so I can just
Yeah.
think about these people and not be like, oh, where's what's happening with, whoever until the episode, which I think is actually really smart because you get to
Yeah.
kind of deep dive into each one.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a smart idea and it's got, I mean, it does have really mostly basically everyone's like newer people besides like Aaron Cahill.
Yeah, or people that have done like one
One
project for
thing.
Hallmark, like
Yeah,
a
it's
Dennis
not like
Haysbert or
veteran people
yeah,
as her.
that
But
that
I
have
mean,
done.
at least it's the people that they've seen at least like maybe one, possibly two times.
Yeah.
So
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind the scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
Well, so for the most part, I enjoyed most of these storylines in the first episode. I was like, okay, this is good. There was one that I didn't love, but let's talk about it. So the pilot, and it's in the series premiere of Holidazed. The holiday season unites six families as they navigate love, secrets, and unexpected revelations. All the families grapple with their intertwined lives, leading to a heartfelt and chaotic celebration filled with laughter, tears, and new beginnings. So yeah, this was a lot, this first episode. It was pretty overwhelming.
I'm like, oh my gosh, we're just bouncing around. I don't know anyone's name. Okay.
And I think the only way to talk about it is to talk about it in terms of families
Yeah,
as
yeah.
opposed to the timeline. I think that's really
Yeah,
the only
that's
way.
yeah.
So we start out with couple one, and I don't really know. I'm just referring to them as the actors' names. I don't know the character
Yeah,
names.
I think that's best because I don't know the name.
So we got John McKinley, Virginia Madsen, and they're like empty nesters. And he has hired a bucket thing so they can get the lights on. And
Mhm.
she's just kind of like, oh my gosh. And they have their daughter, Holland Roden. One of their daughters is Holland Roden. And we see later on, is dating the brother of Naomi Gonzalez's character.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. And then they have another daughter, I think. That's the vegan? Is it the
I
daughter or
think
the son?
I know. I don't know if Giles Panton is the son or she's the daughter. I think she might be the daughter, maybe. Don't
Oh
know.
yeah. So they're like really hardcore vegans.
Yeah, I guess every year they change, what they're eating or something. So they're like, oh, what's happening this year? And they're like, oh, we're vegan.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and they get really upset when their daughter ends up eating a hot dog.
Yes. Yes.
So they thought it was a vegan hot dog, and then it got switched or something.
I think that's my understanding is that I guess they brought some vegan hot dogs, but then they realized the one she had was actually like a regular hot dog.
Yeah, because then like the one of them says, "Oh, I'm eating the vegan hot dog," and so then they're like, "Oh, we got it switched."
Oh, yeah, yeah. Which seemed like just a mistake. I mean,
Yeah,
it didn't seem like it was on purpose. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I guess if it was intentional, then I could understand it, but being upset, but I I mean it's tough to have enough protein for kids. Some people do it and some people do it well, but it is hard.
Yeah.
It's definitely tricky.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just like in general with kids, you've got to pick your battles, and I guess this is very, very important to them, but like, I don't know. It just seems like, okay, you can take it away and get the vegan hot dog. She had one bite, like you just have to kind of put everything in perspective, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I think so.
So she was a lot. The vegan, particularly the girl. Giles was more chill.
Yeah, Lucy Guest was, yeah,
Lucy,
she was
yeah,
a lot.
Lucy.
Yeah.
She was a lot.
I was like,
Oh my
okay, I
God.
really don't think it was on purpose. I'm like, it's okay.
And then so Holland's like, I'm leaving.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, I can't deal with you people. Like, let me just leave and go next door.
I don't blame her. I
Yeah,
don't
I
blame
don't
her.
either.
And I have two siblings that are vegan,
Oh.
and my mom is very restricted as far as her food.
Mm-hmm.
She's gluten free and she has all these other like different restrictions. And so I don't know. I always say to my family, like, why don't we just go out to eat? Then everybody can just get what they want.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like for Thanksgiving, you have like 7 different kinds of stuffing.
Yeah,
it's
that's
absurd.
crazy.
You gotta,
That's really crazy.
you know. And
Uh-huh.
so just I mean, this year we're all separated because my parents are going to visit my sister, and so and I was like, it doesn't really make sense to have Thanksgiving with the two vegans, and so we're gonna do something else. And
Mm.
anyway, we're all over the place, but yeah, that one was a pretty stressful one. It's his
Mm-hmm.
first family. It's like, oh
Yeah, I was kind of like, okay, you guys are like a lot.
yeah. So then we have couple number 2 is we have Ian Harding, and he is coming back to visit his parents, and he's like a total yuppie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a hipster, you would
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
And I did think it was a pretty funny line when he's like, I'm going to pick up some power bowls, and she's like, what's the
Yeah,
power? What's the
power of
power?
what? What
Power
power?
what?
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
I mean, you live in California, you know this person.
And yeah, it's crazy. It's so weird to like for me, someone who's from Georgia, like to see like wheatgrass shots and
Yeah.
all these weird, things.
Yeah.
And I'm just like not used to like seeing that. You don't see wheatgrass shots in Georgia. You see smoked barbecue, pulled pork,
Right.
and macaroni and cheese, stuff that clogs your arteries. Okay. Not green juices and
Power
so many
bowls.
vegan options everywhere, which I think is good though. A lot of people eat it here.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier because there's so many options everywhere. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but it was funny, and I mean, especially like when they're giving his parents the present of a retirement home.
That was so cringy. I was like,
It was so
I
bad.
felt like when
I
I
think that's
watched The
actually the
Office,
next
I want to like
episode, but
close my
yeah.
eyes and I wanted to look away. I'm like, I can't. Like this is so horrible.
Yeah, I think that's actually the next episode, but yeah, they you wouldn't like have a conversation with them first. I mean, it's just so stupid,
Yeah,
crazy.
it was bad.
So, but I don't understand why Nazneen is in this series.
Yeah,
There's no need to have, he can just be a yuppie. There's no need for him to have this
there
other
was
love interest.
zero need. It was just so unneeded. I said one less person they could pay. No offense to Nazneen. I really like her and not in the show, but I do like her as a person.
Yeah.
But yeah, she wasn't needed because, he was going home. He could still be going to Australia and still be a yuppie and still kind of not really like kids. And that could just be it. And he just,
Yeah. It added absolutely nothing to the
Yeah.
plot except to make him look kind of skeevy.
Exactly.
Like you want to
All
like
it made
this
him
person.
look was just bad. So it wasn't a good thing.
I don't understand. I just don't understand why they feel a need, because obviously they're like, well, we need to add conflict. Well,
Yeah.
you don't really. There's like enough conflict with him, like getting community service and not getting along with his parents, and like there's enough there. You don't need some random girlfriend that he's emotionally cheating on.
Exactly. Yeah. I thought it was just so just not needed at all. Because like you said, it added nothing. So it was like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. Yeah. So he ends up he's texting and talking on the phone, and he says, "Oh, I'm hands free," but like he I guess he had it in his hand, so not technically or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So Erin Cahill pulls him over. She's a sheriff. They were friends in high school and or lab partners or whatever. And he tries to like charm his way out of it. I think most of the time they wouldn't give you a ticket on the first, especially for from out of town. Usually most cops would just be like, put hands on the wheel, or whatever. I think for most people, but anyway, she gives him the ticket, and so they have I guess that's their meet cute. Uh-huh. And I mean, this little kid who plays Theo, her son, is adorable, and he's done a bunch of
so
Hallmark.
cute.
He's really cute. But it was a little bit strange. This is getting into the next episode, but they all blend in. But it was a little strange. I felt like he was never really in love with Erin Cahill, like hardly at all. It was all Theo. Like he was.
Oh.
Like I don't know. They just didn't really even have that many like cute interactions and having like. But he was like in love with Theo.
Yeah. No, I think Theo really liked him. Josh Ian Harding. And that Ian Harding really liked Theo, and
he wants Theo to be in his life, so by necessity he has to be with the sheriff.
Yeah, I do agree. Like they really didn't. They were like, I mean, not that like they have so much time because it's like one episode, but they didn't really have that much chemistry. Like they gave him that one hugging scene, and that was like basically it.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
And we find out that he was like traumatized by this teacher, Mrs. Kaiser, who gave him a failing grade on his art project, his final art project, because she says that, oh, you didn't do the assignment. And the assignment was to approach this project in a new way, and he did it just the same. And so that was her frustration, and I mean, he really carried this.
Yeah, I'm like, that's really weird. I'm like, I went to high school apparently at the same time as you, which makes no sense because they're like 2009. I'm like, you're not supposed to be 33. Anyway, I was like, I wouldn't remember that. I was like, there's no way you're still carrying it so close to it,
That's the thing with these Hallmark movies is that like people carry high school like way beyond what's reasonable.
Yeah, way beyond. Because it's like these people are like 40. I'm like, please, I hope you haven't been carrying this for 30 years. Like, I
haven't thought about high school but like practically since high school. I mean, I moved on almost immediately.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe like 1 or 2 years, okay. But like 30, 20 years, like no.
Yeah. No need. And so anyway, that one was cute enough, and especially in the second episode, we'll talk more about it. But it could have been great, but it was cute. Yeah. So then our third coupling, we have Lindy Booth and her sister, played by Rochelle Lefevre. Lucy and Sylvie are the character names. Her sister is a lot. She's a very strong personality and kind of overwhelming. And she's coming to visit for the holidays. And her daughter, Lindy Booth's daughter, is really excited. She loves her aunt. But Lindy has very mixed feelings about it.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I thought this was a pretty relatable.
I did too. I don't know what that says about me, but I'm definitely like the more introverted, uptight Lindy character. So I guess I relate to her, feeling like, Rochelle is just, coming in, and I can see how that would be irritating to me. So I really related to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the opposite. I'm more the extroverted, type. And so I'd be the one that would be like, oh, more clueless. But yeah, I mean, especially it hurts your heart when you see her talking to the crush, the handyman guy.
That made me so sad. Because when they were in the coffee shop, I was like, oh, they're so cute. And I'm like, oh, they're going to make this the conflict. I'm like, come on. I'm like, I don't want that to be the conflict.
Yeah. She's all talking. You're so easy to talk to. Handyman guy.
Oh, he is cute. Yeah.
He is cute. Yeah. So there's that dynamic going on. And then we have Naomi Gonzalez coming home, and she finds out that her brother is dating Holland Roden, who was the mean girl in high school. She hates.
Yes.
Again, going back to high school. But I think Naomi looked really good. I mean, she was a good actress as well, but she was really beautiful, I think.
Yeah, no, she's really beautiful. I'm so glad she's doing another thing for Hallmark, because I really like her.
Yeah.
And I do agree. I remember we talked about it, or I saw you talk about it in her movie. They really did not dress her well, and it was not good.
So that made me happy.
Here, this was better. Yeah, she looked really good, and her clothing. I mean, she's just a beautiful person. Like, she's just beautiful. So I'm like, give her just clothes that look, good. I mean, she's beautiful.
Yeah. And it was fun to see her in this sort of more comedic role, being the jealous one and everything. And she finds the ring that her brother has in his pocket, and that's fun. And we also get to see her doing the karaoke, although I don't know what is this song?
Yeah, I was like, I had no idea what that was.
Like this weird, like Christmas, like
Christmas talking song.
Yeah, Christmas talking song. It was
like, they're not singing.
I'm like, what were they trying to be, Lin-Manuel Miranda here? I mean, this is ridiculous. But it was a pretty fun plot line. I'm looking forward to that one, I think.
Yeah. No, yeah, I did like that one. And I hope her and Holland will become friends and like each other, and not won't be awkward, and
Oh, I forgot to mention that the Virginia Madsen is having the family sign a contract at the end.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's gonna go really bad. I'm like, you added no drinking? I'm like, yeah, I don't think these people can handle that.
Like, they need that in order to get through with these vegans.
I mean, sadly, most people, it seems like, need that to be with their family for longer than a certain amount of time. So I'm like, good luck to you.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the new Gift Wrapped Romance Sweet Clean series, available now wherever you purchase books. Looking for some cheerful escapism this holiday season? Snuggle up with a cup of hot cocoa and lose yourself in 5 festive tales of romance with the new book series, Gift Wrapped Romance. These 5 funny and feel-good books have all the jolly hallmarks of perfect holiday reading: twinkling lights, mistletoe kisses, and plenty of Christmas cheer. Swoon over your new book boyfriends as they find love in the most magical season of all. Find the books wherever you do your book shopping this holiday season, or use the affiliate link in the description below.
So then we have the Lin family, and this is a like Chinese Canadian family, and they have sent the Nana off because they don't want her to know that the one son is getting married to a man, and because he hasn't even come out to the grandma yet.
Yeah.
And then she's like, surprise, I'm in town, I didn't go. And so now they're having to, and this was the big miss for me. I mean, and it's so frustrating because this is really the only, aside from on the Cherry Lane on Hallmark, this is really the only LGBTQ representation on Hallmark or any of the Christmas media this year. There's almost none.
Really? Wow.
None on Lifetime, none on Netflix. And so I just feel like this is such a tired story.
Yeah.
Like
I thought we really went away from this. That's why I was so shocked.
You're going to tell me that the only thing you could think of is a coming out, hiding your partner storyline in 2024. You like it just, maybe they'll win me over with it. Maybe I'll end up, it'll be really charming and whatever, but I don't know. I just feel like this feels like something from like, I don't know, 2000. Like, let's move on. Really, this is just such a boring storyline. I don't like it.
Yeah, they really like went away from it years ago. Like, because they kind of even like there was like a whole thing where like LGBTQ people said like, okay, like we're tired of our representation being the coming out story. Like we just want to be regular people experiencing regular life as ourselves. And so it did feel very dated to do that.
Yeah, and to hide your partner, make him pretend he's not your partner.
Yeah.
Like like everybody has their journey, and I understand the coming out process is still, because when it's very difficult, totally respect that.
Yeah.
But it just felt lazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Anything would have been better. Like, why don't they're just planning the wedding and there's shenanigans, or
exactly.
Or maybe like what could have been fun is like, what if you had the gay couple like doing what's that show on Bravo that they had that like the gay people were like helping this straight guy, like they had like a
Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, or
yeah. They would like there was like Carson Kressley was on it, and
that's right.
Queer Eye, right?
I think it was Queer Eye. Yeah,
Queer Eye.
Yeah.
Anyway, if they had kind of done, maybe you could do something like that and have like his sister, who's single in this, like you could have her be the person that they're like helping, and like, oh, we're gonna set you up with this guy and he's so nice, and and we're planning our wedding at the same time, and this is fun. Whatever, like anything would be better.
Anything would be better than this. I think. Yeah, I was shocked when they took it that way. I'm like, and like how reasonable or believable is it that your partner has never known this before this moment? Like they don't know your whole family hides this from her. Like you just found out at that moment.
It's not reasonable. And then that everybody would go along with the whole thing that the sister is dating
you could just see when he found out he was hurt, and then when they were going to take it that far and just accept what she said, he would just look so hurt, and I felt bad. I'm like, that's not okay.
Yeah. So I just, and it's a shame because I like all of the actors.
Yeah.
They're all very talented and they have like chemistry as a family. And why did they give them this tired plot?
Yeah.
So that was the miss for me. So then the final family, I guess we have, is there's a couple, and her mom is played by Loretta Devine, and her dad is played by Dennis Haysbert. And Loretta Devine is bringing her new boyfriend because they're divorced.
Her new
and
boyfriend.
Yeah, and Sir Darius Blaine is the new love interest, and Dennis Haysbert is like a little jealous, but he's pretty chill. He's pretty
He's
cool.
trying to be, yeah, he's trying to be real chill.
So they're all trying to get along, and that's sort of their plot. And I thought it was funny. That was I think worked pretty well.
I mean, talk about Hallmark After Dark when she was like, make sure we're in the back room because we might be making some noise. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm dead. Like, I'm already dead because your boyfriend's like 35, but wow, okay.
Yeah, he thought that Sir Darius thought he was going to be their son.
Exactly.
And he's reading the script and he's like, wow, okay.
He's like, I thought Loretta Devine would be my mom and I'm Loretta Devine's boyfriend. Like, that's crazy.
And sometimes we pick on age differences, in between actors in love stories, but it's fine if it's part of the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like the only time it's awkward is if it's not really acknowledged. And it's like, wait, this is a way older, usually guy, than the girl. And so it's not like acknowledged at least a little bit, even in like the old school movies like Sabrina or Charade or movies like that where they were much older. It was like there were lines about it. Like, it's part of the plot. And they usually would have the female love interest being relatively forward and proactive, and so that made it because you don't want it to feel like, oh, somebody's being dominated or kind of a thing, and so it's fine. Like in this situation, it's part of the plot. It's a story. So it works, and I thought it was pretty funny.
I thought it was funny. I loved when her husband was like, please be the Uber driver. Please be the Uber driver. I'm like, nope, you're in for some shenanigans for a few days. Sorry.
Yeah. So of these 6 families, which story are you the most invested in after this pilot?
Ooh, that's hard. Gosh. See, I would have said the Lindy one so easily before I knew that Rochelle was going to be talking to her crush.
Yeah, that did kind of like let some air out of that balloon.
Yeah, it really did for me. I would like the moment I saw them interact, I was like, oh, this is going to be so fun. Because I really like Lindy. I miss seeing her on Hallmark too. Geez, it's hard to pick. Because I'm worried about the drinking contract. And that's why I'm freaked out about that. You know what? I'm going to say naming Gonzalez's family. That's what I'm going to say.
I agree. And I like literally I would have said the exact same like train of thought as you on this. Like it would probably be number 1, the Gonzalez's, and then I would probably say Loretta Devine and Dennis Haysbert.
Actually, I agree.
The most humor.
I think it'll be really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, Hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
Episode 2, we start into our individual love stories. We have old high school lab partners Josh and Nora, both harboring secret crushes on each other, reunite when Josh is tasked with community service under Nora's supervision. As Josh bonds with Nora's son, the three of them begin to forge connections that could reshape their futures. So we basically already talked about most of this.
Mhm.
Like I said, he wants to be a dad to Theo, and so therefore he's going to fall in love with her. With Eric Hale.
Even like how they show Aaron, like every time he's interacting with Eric, like watching him interact with Theo, it's like the reason she liked him is because the way he interacts.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
It's all about Theo. Theo is, the center of this.
And he's really cute, so fair enough.
So cute. Oh my gosh, he's adorable. I love him.
I feel like the post-mortem, though, is not high. I am not expecting this relationship to... I think Theo's gonna have some tears.
Oh no!
I know.
I see Theo cry.
Because I don't see this relationship really having legs. But who knows?
You do need a connection outside of the child.
Yeah, especially when that child turns into like a bratty teenager.
Exactly.
Not so cute anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so like I said, we said Nazneen totally wasted. Why is she even in this?
Yeah, it's like literally not needed for her to be in this. Like it's literally making his character look bad, and it's Hallmark, so it's like, why are we? Yeah.
It did kind of make me laugh. Like his main character attribute, besides being a hipster, is that he can't drive. He's like a terrible driver.
Yeah, that's so funny. He's like, they're like, yeah, so our insurance isn't going up, so you can't drive.
Yeah.
Then he's like, really his dad drops him off. He's like, thanks, Dad.
They're like taking the keys away.
That was funny. It was funny.
It was real. That was good. So he in the pilot, he pays the ticket and apologizes. That's when he meets Theo.
Okay.
And Theo is just hanging out at the jail, I guess. What do they call it? Not jail. Whatever.
The office or whatever. Yeah.
And they bond. And so then he shows up here to do the community service because he has hit over the fire hydrant and it's a bad situation.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, oh my God. He just sees the car and he's like running after it, which is what anyone would do, but it's not like you can stop it. I mean, yeah, that was it. I mean, I guess technically he really shouldn't be. He just forgot to turn on the emergency brake. He didn't actually. He's not actually a bad driver. Yeah. He's had a series of unfortunate events.
He's just distracted.
Yeah.
And so he helps Theo with the model making, and he tries to help them like decorate the trees and stuff. And he's just kind of a mess. They're like, can you do something else?
Yeah, they're like, we just want to do this. You go do something else.
Yeah. It's like there's just too much going on happening in this tree. And I'm like, it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, these are special trees that are they're not supposed to be like simple.
You
know. And so then it's obvious like he's really not that into Nazneen. That's why she was like completely unnecessary. He's like, it's not just about the work we love, but we love each other, right? And she's just kind of like, oh yeah.
I was like, okay, first of all, I like Nazneen. Second of all, you made her the bad woman of business. This is just not good. Like, just take this out. It's bad.
It does not need to be there. So Mrs. Kaiser, the art teacher, gave him an F. And so he's still upset about it.
I don't remember anything like that ever happened to me that I'm still remembering from high school.
No. That's the thing that, like, I don't know. I wish I could tell, like, kids, not that they shouldn't have some degree of stress and trying, you know, they should try their hardest as far as school. But, like, in reality, as long as you graduate, nobody cares. Like, really, I mean, maybe if you're trying to get like an internship or something, like maybe a little bit, but it's not like anybody's like, oh, what was your GPA in your school? Like, what number were you in your graduating class? Nobody cares. They're like, oh, you graduated? Great job.
Yeah.
You know? Check.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it.
I agree.
Yeah. So it's like you work so hard, and like if the difference between getting an A and a B is like your mental health and your clarity and like having an overall positive experience in college, I'm saying take the B. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you should try. You shouldn't just slack off. But like, you also, I don't know, sometimes it's just like, it's okay, honey. Just go have fun, enjoy your time, because you'll never have another time in your life where you can be so free, where you don't have these obligations.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would tell struggling students. Because it's just nobody cares.
Yeah.
No,
they literally don't care at all.
And but Mrs. Kaiser, she still remembers him. She still remembers giving him this F. It was very traumatic.
God.
And so it turns out that I guess they were in a play together. They were in Camelot or something. And then and they were lab partners, but he wasn't strong enough to admit that he liked her.
Yeah, to his friends and to hang out with her.
Yeah, because she was like too much of a nerd or something like that.
Yeah, because that's what it sounded like. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then Nazneen shows up and she's like, surprise. And then we have this is when they give the key to the retirement complex.
That was so horrible. And I just realized, I guess that's what he was doing when his car rolled away, because he said he was doing something for his parents and he had to say something. That must have been what he was doing. It's like that. How do you just say, oh yeah, parents, we haven't talked about it at all. Here's your retirement home. Like, what?
Like, they're fully capable. They're not even on like any kind of
using a cane or
any kind of disability.
I was like, what are you doing? You just want to feel better about going to Australia. We get it. Like, that's the only reason to do this. Like, it's just doesn't make sense. Like,
there's not like a person in the world that wants somebody else to make that choice for them.
Yeah, no.
It would be like, oh yeah,
I'm so excited. Like, what? If I did that to my parents, they would literally be so they would be so mad for a really long time, probably.
I liked when Nazneen's character says the DoorDash, we're DoorDash kale salad people.
Oh my god. That sounded so terrible. I was like, gosh, how could you make her say this?
I mean, we absolutely know who that person is, though.
Yeah.
There's only been one kale salad in my lifetime that I've enjoyed. And it's this place called Zupa's in here in Utah. And they had this one where they like shredded the kale. So it was like in a chiffonade kind of shredding. And it had grapes and nuts and cranberries, and it was so good. And feta. And then they took it off. They took it off the menu. I'm very sad.
Cranberries elevate everything, so I can see how that would be good.
I agree with you, actually. A couple of years ago, I went to a friend's house for Thanksgiving. And in my house, we have like multiple kinds of cranberries. There's like the jellied, there's the whole cranberry, there's the relish, all different kinds. Love cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
And I went to their Thanksgiving. I'm grateful. They were super nice. It was great. But no cranberry sauce of any kind.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. That's unheard of.
What? So like now, whenever I go to anybody's for Thanksgiving, I have a can with me because just in case.
Yeah. I think I've told you this before. One time, my aunt was in charge of the cranberry sauce, and she made a cranberry sauce with horseradish, which is a sin against cranberry sauce. So from then on, I have my Ocean Spray whole berry can with me all times, no matter where I go. I'm taking because I will not be disappointed by cranberry sauce.
there's some things that you don't need to muck up.
Yeah.
Just cranberries, orange juice,
Yeah.
that's it. Your
Yeah.
sugar, of course. That's all you need.
Yeah. You
You
don't need to
don't
add
need,
weird things like horseradish
yeah,
or some
no.
weird random. It's like, how did even, I don't even know who came with that recipe. Like, why? It was so bad.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. Uh, but anyway, they're kale salad and DoorDash types, and
Mm.
he's like, I gotta go for a walk, and then he goes down. He goes down and confronts Mrs. Kaiser. You didn't do the assignment, which is absolutely correct. If you didn't do the assignment, you shouldn't have gotten a good grade.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how good your picture was or whatever, or both of them were. If you didn't do what was asked of you, then you didn't do what the assignment was.
Yeah, yeah. So then we have Theo in this ornament competition.
Mm-hmm.
And so I couldn't understand. Did he say life star or light star?
I think it was life with an F.
Okay.
I
Because
think.
I didn't have closed captions on the screeners that I was watching. So I was just like,
Oh.
what is he saying? Is he saying light star or life star?
Yeah, that's true. I was watching with captions and it did say life.
It is. Okay, good. And so he makes this life star for his dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that his dad who's passed away. And we get this handhold, which would have been very sweet, but why should I feel that sweet when his girlfriend is literally in town?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that just makes it again, it makes him a skis ball.
Yeah, yeah. It was bad. I just don't understand why they feel the need to add this extra conflict. I don't get it.
Because if it was just him being a yuppie and coming home, and you could even
Moving to Australia.
You could even start it with her dumping him. Fine.
Yeah.
And I'm going to move to Australia because my girlfriend just dumped me and I'm feeling depressed. Perfect. Great story. And then he he meets you could even, if you just had to have that plot element, you could even have girlfriend breaks up with him, girlfriend breaks up with him, and then she comes back and the last, oh, I'm sorry I broke up with you. You could do that if you wanted.
Yeah.
Because that would be better than this.
Then like we're moving to Sydney together in 2 days and you're off here, hugging, hand holding, and loving this child of this woman.
Because you don't move to Sydney with somebody that you feel lukewarm
on the fence about. Like, no.
Yeah. I mean, I am not moving anywhere if I don't have a ring on my finger. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also, I do feel like his parents being like, oh, you're moving all the way to Sydney. Oh, it's a big problem. And in reality, it isn't a problem. It doesn't matter. Like, as long as you're not within driving distance, it really doesn't matter.
It's like all the same.
Yeah. Like, if you're not within like a morning drive, then it doesn't really matter if you're a day flight away or if you're 2 states away. Like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyway, it was like I think a very pretty ornament that he made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was nice.
I thought it was really nice.
Yeah. And he makes the ornament and he wins, of course.
Yes. It's a very unique idea. So
yeah. And this is what the life star feels like. And then Stacy says, do you want to come with me or stay here? Says, and so they don't actually break up. It's left on like a cliffhanger.
But yeah, I was surprised by that. I was like, wait, this is like really short amount of time. I guess they're not gonna say like exactly what happened, and we'll just see him in town the next day when he's still there, I guess, or something.
I mean, I haven't watched episode 3 yet because I didn't want to kind of bleed into coverage.
So confusing. Yeah.
And so, but I would think they would at least start with her being like, bye.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm off to Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they conclude that and then start the next one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there we go. That is the first 2 episodes of Holidazed. And I'm invested. I think it's going to be fun to see what happens. We will see. We're definitely not going to do anything for a couple of weeks because of Thanksgiving madness. But and we may just do a kind of like what we did for Chicken Sisters and just do a finale. I guess we'll just see how much we're enjoying it. If it's fun, how much, how much, let us know if you're listening, if you want what you want, what kind of coverage you'd like to see, so that we know kind of what to do. But yeah, it might just be what we did for Chicken Sisters, which we did. There were more episodes of that than I think than this. But anyway, so do this episode and then a finale episode. So for the rest of the season. But let us know what you think. And Anne, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at awscott21.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure you're following the podcast, the Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. We really appreciate that. And if you could leave your ratings and reviews on iTunes, those 5-star reviews really help people to find the podcast. It comes up on the search engines in iTunes, and those positive reviews really, really help with the algorithm. So please take a minute to do that. And then if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. Most of our viewers on YouTube are not subscribers. So if you're in that camp, hit subscribe. It really helps the algorithm a lot. And those likes as well. And we have our patron group, and we had this week, we had our patron watch along event with Topher Payne watching A Gift to Remember. And so that's a cool experience. And then next month, we're going to have Julie Sherman Wolf on for a movie. I don't think we decided. I think it might be Finding Santa is the one that we're going to do with her. So that's a cool experience. And you'll be able to ask her all about the Holiday Chiefs movie, all of the other projects that she's been in. It was on the Hallmark cruise. All those things you can talk to her about. And that's for any level of Patreon can participate in those fun activities. So check it out. We really appreciate it. Try to make it worth your while. And then we have the merch store where we have new holiday movie themed designs. We've got Home Alone. We've got Christmas Story. We've got Die Hard. We've got all of the fun designs. So check that out. We sure would appreciate it. And we will talk to you all later. Bye. Merry Christmas.